Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a sort of little bucket bag. So, yeah, I think it's a bucket bag style. It's tall and deep, which is just lovely. And the handle goes over the front as opposed to the side. And it's just lovely. And I'm absolutely in love with the Painted Seasons DSP and the stamp set, you know, to be fair with it as well. But this particular one has really caught my heart. I absolutely adore it. And it works very well with the Sweet Storybook stamp set, which is this one over here, which obviously has got our toadstools. Now this does come with dies, because you can cut these images out and have everything elevated and pushed back. I'm going to fussy cut these. Yes, I am. I'm going to be fussy cutting. Okay, so I'm using the same DSP, but I'm putting this one was against Poppy Parade. I'm actually going to go and work with Early Espresso because I want to see what it looks like. I reckon it's going to be really cool against Early Espresso. Would be particularly good against Pumpkin Pie, but that's okay. Early Espresso it is. Okay, piece of cardstock, 8 by 11 inches, so it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you're going to be able to make it. On the long side, score it at 4.5 and 6.5 inches, which is 11.5 and 16.5 centimetres. And then turn it round, and on the short side, score it at 2 and 6, which in metric is 5 and 15. So that's all the scoring needed. Let's put that out of the way. I was never a big fan of Early Espresso. I was always a chocolate chip girl, and we don't have chocolate chip anymore. So my deep dark brown is this one, and actually I really like it. Now that, you know, an alternative has been taken away of the deep browns, I've kind of got no choice but to use this. I have no problem with it. I don't know why I was such a oh, those are grubby. Why I was so awkward about it before. Those are grubby too. Seriously, who comes in here? Do you know what it was? It was my husband wrapping presents the other night. Used these. Bless him. So, I'm cutting straight down and wedging in this square because I want to get this tucked away out of sight. So you just wedge into that. Now, the finished dimensions of the box, 2 inches deep, 2 inches wide, 4.5 by 4. In metric, that's 5 by 11.5 by 10. So a really good size. And my DSP, you need 2 for the front, 2 for the back, and 1 for the handle. And I'm going to come to the handle shortly. So you need to make sure that they're all the right way up. Fortunately, I haven't made that mistake. So I'm going to do the front and back first. They measure 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, which in metric is not written down. That's going to be 9.5 by 11. How did I not write that down? Okay. And they are going to fit on this side, and they're going to face up. And then the side panels, they're only going to go on one of them, and once you've got them on, that's going to be what will be the front. They measure 1 3/4 by 4 1/4, and in metric that's going to be 4.5 by 11. I'll make sure it's all written down on my blog. I'm going to commit and decide that this is my front. So that's now going to be my front part. So I want to put adhesive in here and on that bit. So grab the tear and tape. Do you know what? I think I spend more time detaching this from me than I do anywhere else. Me on my grid paper. It's super sticky though. Look at that. This is how sticky it is. It's just ripped off a bit of the cardstock. It's fine, it's going on the inside. Okay, so peel off the backing. And this bit's going to marry up to the inside of there. And this one onto here. And then these ones are going to come round to the front. I didn't put any at the bottom. I knew something didn't feel right. Let's get rid of that grubby bit. Stick it to myself. Oh dear. Do you know what? There are some days when my crafting is, everything can go right and then everything can go wrong. I'm not completely sure what today's going to be. Okay, should we try that again? So, this one, going to stick there. And this one here. This is going to come round and stick on here. And so you're sort of eyeballing this crease line, the crease line and this edge and that one all at the same time to get it lined up neatly. But actually kind of the most important one is the top. If you prefer to use liquid glue, use that. I probably ought to have done. I think maybe the next project I'm going to film, I might use liquid glue. We'll see what Wednesday's video brings us. Okay, you see that's looking good on the early espresso already. Okay, I've got that tearing tape stuck. Now, for my handle, I've got a piece that's 8 by 2 inches and some DSP that's 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that's going to be, I've not written that down either, 20 by 5. So that's going to be 19.5 by 4.5. Okay. I'm going to line that up and get that on. Oh, I haven't rounded the corners. This is going to be fun and games. This is going to stick to me now, isn't it? I can't round the corners. It's going to stick on the inside of that and wreck it. Should have rounded the corners first. I didn't. I forgot. Oh well, doesn't matter. And then gently bend at the top, but not fully. You don't want it to fall in half. You just want a gentle bend, because if I hadn't, the bag would be popping open the whole time. Needs a bit of glue just there. Mini glue dot to the rescue. Okay, so this is the front, that's the back. You do need a strong glue for this. Snail is not going to cut the mustard. Ask me how I know. I put one on and it twanged off. I made these about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's been sat waiting to be filmed. One of the handles twanged off. Okay, so that's my front. So my toadstool's going the right way up. And just on the edge. And then round here. On the edge too. And press really, really firmly. And you can see it's trying to open it up. So if you just give it a bit more of a squeeze at the handle, it won't twang open. So it's just a nice shape. Right, sweet storybook. So we've got 2-step stamping here. So I'm going to take that bit out for my Poppy Parade and that bit for my outline, which I'm going to do in early espresso. So I get those two out and a piece of Whisper White. I always like to put my photopolymer stamps onto my grid paper and let them relax a little bit, because you can bend them out of shape. And because I want to see through it, I've picked up a big block. So my Poppy Parade, let me try not to headbutt the camera. while I line this up. There we go. Oh, that's fine, that'll do. A little white mark across it. And now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom you in for a second. I've got my aqua painter here, and actually the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blend that together so it's not quite as distinctive a line. And, oh, I did have a tissue, I'll just use my hand. And what I want to do is move this early espresso around, because I don't want this mushroom to be, or this toadstool rather, to be stark white. And because I've used early espresso, I can move it. And kind of the underside of a toadstool is this sort of colour anyway. Oh, there's my tissues. And then move it all about a bit, and it takes off the white, and it means that the top of that, these white spots on the toadstool are still quite dark, quite stark. Can't speak there. And I'm going to fussy cut it out, but I'm going to zoom you back out again on my jerky camera. Why is this jerking and not doing it smoothly? Okay, super sharp paper snips. This is not my area of expertise, so we're just going to have fun and games with it. And and you know what? With the sellouts that we've had of some of the framelits that match things, our paper snips are amazing. I'm just going to say that. They are really good. They are crazy sharp, but they are really, really good. And if, I mean, yes, I know this is a relatively simple shape, but if somebody can, like me, can fussy cut with our paper snips, then you know what? That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just going to go wibbly, wibbly, wibbly along there, just so it's not a perfect line. Look at that, I fussy cut that. I did that. I'm so easily pleased, aren't I? Right, a couple of dimensionals on there. And that, I think, is proper super cute. I really like the bag against early espresso. Oh, I don't know which one I prefer, Poppy Parade or early espresso. I don't know. I'm going to ask Facebook. I'm going to ask everybody which they prefer. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, probably giggling along with me. Who else paper cuts? Fussy cuts, do you do too? I have multiple pairs of scissors. I could do lots, couldn't I? I can't get them all out, they're tangled in the wires. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 pairs, and that's just what's on my desk. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye.